How can you help your kids become each other's best friends? I've seen so many terrible sibling relationships, kids who grew up in the same house, who were raised by loving parents, who the parents seem to do the right things, and yet the kids, when they become adults, they are not able to be friends with each other, not able to be close. And I wondered, how can I prevent that from happening with my kids? And how can I help my kids have great relationships? Because I've also seen some siblings who are clearly very close and spend a lot of time together and enjoy spending time together. And that was what I wanted for my kids. Here are some of the things that we found that seem to be really making a difference. And some of them are based on observations that we watched with other families where it didn't work out. And some of them are observations that we've observed watching with families that it did work out. And so here's some things that we found that we feel like make a big difference in sibling relationships. Okay, number one, you need to teach your kids conflict resolution directly. This is a really big hang-up that I noticed from a lot of us who grew up in the millennial generation, and I'm not sure so much if Gen Z has this pattern as well, but many of us, when we wanted our parents to get involved in our sibling conflicts, they would come in as a judge. They would come in to hear, and they might hear both sides of the story, and then they would hand down their judgment. And that's a quick and rapid way to make sure that the situation is resolved, but it tends to create resentment. There's usually some abuse of power that ends up happening where the parent will simply tell one child or the other, after hearing only a part of the story, that, oh, you need to do this, and that's the end of it. And it doesn't teach the siblings any conflict resolution, and it leads to a lot of hurt feelings. I've observed this in my own family. Growing up, I was the oldest, and so frequently the answer to conflict between myself and the younger sibling would be, you're the oldest, and so you need to be mature and handle things. And as I've gotten into adulthood, that pattern continues. I'm still the oldest, I'm still considered to be the most mature, and so therefore, even though my siblings are younger, but they are full adults now, I'm still expected to let them behave whatever way they want to, and they aren't expected to grow in maturity when I've tried to bring it up with my parents. And so that's something that we've done differently with our kids. Conflict resolution takes time, and it takes energy, and it takes some skills. And we found that we had to help our children understand, what is it to have a fair fight? What is it to have a fair argument? How can I learn to listen to what the other person is saying? And how can we both come up with something that we're both happy with?